We are live. Hold on, here we go.
You got a question for RLN? You got a question for RLN? Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Oh, now we getting real. Get down. You don't feel good now. That's what I'm talking.
Oh boy, hold on a second, audience. Hold on a second. No, don't play it again. No. Of course, I picked out the wrong one. Here we go. This is the song.
It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. You got a question for RLN? Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Oh, now we getting real. Yeah, time to get down. Yeah, you don't feel good now.
Now that's the theme song. That's the theme song I was looking for, not the shorter version, that version. Woo-wee! Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Global Happiness Specialist, Rebecca L. Norrington, Inner Peace Practitioner, Oracle student, mother. Yes, I'm a mother too. Welcome to the last show, the last reality spirituality show of 2024. Wow. And if you're listening on Noom Vibe, you are welcome to join the stage. This is going to be an open show. I love feedback, comments. How have you grown in 2024? I would love to hear that. And I'm also live on my YouTube channel, which is Rebecca Norrington on YouTube. So like and subscribe. I'm getting a lot of new listeners, a lot of new people finding me. You know how the universe works, because I don't know hell about marketing. But so just a brief introduction. Happiness specialist. Who the hell? What the hell does she think she is? Anyway, when I say happiness, I'm referring to an energy, a personal vibration of contentment. And everyone knows how that feels. And when I say contentment and peace, happiness, it's all on the same. I would say, don't know. I was gonna say same frequency, but it's that same vibe. You know when you're feeling content. You know when you have that. Shoulders down. And this has nothing to do with, and this feeling and this energy and this vibration has nothing to do with any external circumstances. So life is a roller coaster for myself also, up and down and up and down. But can I maintain and sustain a foundation of contentment regardless of what happens? And the answer is yes, with practice. Happiness, inner peace, contentment are all practiced skills. And if I can do it, you can do it. And when I say practice, it's what do you practice? Well, thanks for asking. The practice is eliminating all of the program behaviors one by one, putting a spotlight on the program behaviors that cause unhappiness. And in fact, I'm holding it up right now. My latest book, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. You can find it on Amazon. In this book, I list 56 program behaviors that subtract from a person's happiness. 56, that's a lot. And also in the book, I list 26 behaviors that you can practice that will add to your happiness. And again, happiness, contentment, it has nothing to do with what happens. It has nothing to do with external. Happiness, my definition is the ability to vibrate an energy of peace and contentment regardless of what happens. That's it. Happiness is a practice skill. It is a state in mind. It is constant. It doesn't matter. In fact, one of the reasons I usually don't do shows during the week. The show is usually heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But on Sunday, guess what? I was having these really severe cramps to the point where I went to urgent care. But I digress, because if you listen to me, I don't talk about, not too much about medical things. But yeah, I was not feeling up to par. So, and listen, and and the universe, especially since I'm claiming, well, I am not claiming, I am a happiness specialist, especially since I think I get extra. I think they throw me extra crap just to see what happens. And so what I did, this cramping, it lasts since Thursday, so it was going on its third day. And I said, no, the ginger ale didn't work, the Alka-Seltzer didn't work. Something's up. I need to go get some kind of medication. Maybe I was thinking I had not stomach, but the food poisoning. Anyway, now they have this new, I don't know why I even got onto this topic, but now they have this new thing where you can have a virtual appointment. So here I am signing up for a virtual appointment, so I don't have to get, well, I stayed in my pajamas anyway, because get in the car and drive 15 minutes to urgent care. So I said, I'll just do a virtual appointment. Well, 5 hours later, because there were 18 people in front of me, 5 hours later, I finally get the nurse practitioner. And do you know what this woman tells me? You know what she tells me? Because I'm thinking, just give me some kind of something for food poisoning. She says, you're going to have to go into the clinic. After 5 hours waiting for my turn, go into the clinic. Deep sigh here, deep sigh, deep sigh. Because one of the things that I practice constantly is knowing, I don't care how I feel, is knowing that everything is in order and knowing that all of this is some kind of plan. I'm not going to say to test, but to challenge my practice. And so, of course, I get to I drive 15 minutes, urgent care. And would you believe that nothing that I talked about with this online nurse practitioner was transferred to the urgent care? So I had to do the explaining again. And if you listen to me, this explaining going on over and over and over again. Rebecca hates that. And see, this is the practice, is to separate. My practice is to separate this human, this person, Rebecca, from who I really am, which is pure presence, and you too, pure awareness. So it's a separation, because Rebecca was not. Wait. Bottom line, got the, what is it? What did I get? Oh, Lord have mercy, I don't remember. But 3 days, and of course the stomach cramps have. It's almost not there anymore. I don't even know how I got onto that topic. The topic today is looking back on 2024, and I do remember now how I got on the topic. Is one of the things that I know and I trust, that everything is in order. Number two, nothing lasts forever, including pain, including physical. Scratch that, because there are some people that have chronic pain. So scratch what I just said. But I'm speaking of my personal experience. Even, I have been in pain for 2 weeks solid, but and I even I even asked or questioned why, but that's not even a good question. What I learned from that experience and what I will take with me into 2025 is to have more awareness, to have more awareness and more, I'm going to say the word compassion too, with and not be so flip. I mean, I'm a boot camp instructor, so I'm not one of those people that, oh, are you okay? You're doing well or what? I'm just not. It's just not my nature, and I I do the same for myself. And so it is taught me to soften. It is encouraged me to soften that behavior, of just, come on, get over it. That's I couldn't get over it for 5 hours, for 6 hours. And what happens is, what happened is my body gets really tense when I'm in pain, really, really tense. And there is no relief other than just waiting for it to be over. But I digress. I don't even know how I started on that. I want to cover a few topics, and everyone is welcome to join. If you're listening on Noom Vibe, you can ask to join the stage. And also, I'm live on my YouTube channel. Let me look at my notes. Oh, this is what I want to say. There is a video on YouTube, and the spiritual teacher's name is Moji. If you've listened to me, you've heard me talk about Moji for the last few months. And this man is on another level, is on another level. And I encourage you to watch and write this down. It's called Must Watch Sat Sang. Must Watch Sat Sang. It's on YouTube. Moji is spelled Mooji. And the title of the talk is, I will not start with your problem. I will start with you. I will not start with your problem. I will start with you. And start watching the video at 27, when it's 27 minutes in. 27 minutes in, 27.40 seconds, minutes in. I mean, talk about life changing. And one of the things that Moji shares, or he doesn't even say teaches, points to, is this practice of watching, observing this ego, which is separate than who we really are. One of my favorite songs that a spiritual singer, I don't, what is her name? Let's see. Mark, Omarka, Omarka. And the song, Remember who you are. It starts off with, this life is just a dream. It will be over in a blink of an eye. Remember who you are. And it's phenomenal also. Let's see. Okay. I was listening to the radio. I'm just going to cover a few topics. I was listening to the radio a couple of days ago, and I like country. I love country. And this country artist was saying, they were talking about, what do you have planned for your 2025? He says, well, my schedule is booked. I'm booked. I'm on tour all year. And he says, so I really don't have anything to add to that schedule. He says, but I would like to be happy. And that's all I share on this show, is the focus, the commitment, prioritizing this thing called happiness. And again, happiness is not, oh, something happens and it's not fleeting. And think of it as an energy of contentment. I keep saying that, but that's That's the point. An energy of contentment that is always there. And it is possible with practice. Okay, so 2024, let me see. 2024, I'm just going to share how I grew, more focusing on practicing living in the present moment, more focus on letting go of stories, letting go of those stories that are not true. And I'm talking about this, the constant thoughts, the constant stories in my head that are not true. In fact, one of my favorite quotes from Guy Finley, who's another teacher in Oregon, his name, he says, the feel is real. Whatever you're feeling is real, but the why is a lie. The feel is real, but the why is a lie. And I live by all of that. Last year, 2024, I taught 2 semesters I'm going into my 6th semester in February, but 2 semesters in 2024, and it's called, the class is called The Truth About Happiness. And it is a class held at UNLV, which is the only university in Las Vegas, but it is sponsored by it's called Osher uh, Lifelong Learning Institute, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. And let me share something, my dear audience, that there are students ranging from 50 years old, because it is a program for senior citizens. Okay, I'm over that. It is a program for senior citizens that are continuing their education. And so there are people in class, they're 50 years old, 60 years old, 70, 80 years old. I once had a student, 92 years old, still seeking, searching, wanting to know more about this thing called happiness. I have both my hands up now. Even Will Smith, before the famous slap heard round the world, he was interviewed in GQ magazine. That's in the book too. My book, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth, on Amazon. And even Will Smith, he was interviewed at GQ November 2021. And he said, I have everything. I have everything money can buy, connections all over the world. He said, but I'm not happy. And so that's where I come in. This achievements, doing, accomplishing, there's nothing wrong with any of it. But don't think that these achievements are satisfying to a, or the satisfaction lasts. That's what I want to say. Even Tom Brady, who has won 7 Super Bowls in interviews, he believes that he could have won 2 more, not satisfied with 7. The great Michael Jordan, in his documentary, The Last Dance, 6 NBA championships. They even asked him in the documentary. They asked him, are you okay with 6 championships? His answer is no. And that's what I'm talking about. How to maintain, how to even get to a place, practice getting to a place. And when I say getting to a place, having an energy of contentment. You are either vibrating the energy of dissatisfaction or satisfaction in any moment. That's it. You're either vibrating satisfaction or dissatisfaction. Now, I've listened to a couple people online, and this one gentleman, he was poo-pooing contentment. Oh, you contentment, that means you don't do anything. No, no, no. I can still get out there and take action, but underneath all of it, there is a level there is a level of contentment. Why? How? Because of what I practice. Number one, I trust, blindly trust, and know that everything, and I mean everything that happens, is serving me in some way. And in fact, in 2025, I'm going to be even more ferocious on this surrendering to moments that Rebecca, you see how I separate her? How Rebecca, she's got preferences. She's got timelines. She's got ideas that she resists. And the practice is to be even more mindful and to be more I'm on it. This is never boring. There is this this growth, this self-awareness. Oh my God. And living consciously in every moment. Oh, there's no breaks. So that's another, is just practicing, enjoying the journey that the universe, and I say universe, you can say God, source, higher power, I am, whatever you want to, whatever term you use. It's not the terms that are important. This is another thing I've learned, because it's interesting when people get triggered or buttons pushed by a word. A word can trigger. Well, that's just another program. And in fact, don't get me started. Don't get me started on the group that can be offended. Well, if you can be offended, you're just programmed. And the least amount of programs that you are carrying around, suitcases of programming, the least amount of programs that you're carrying around, the happier you're going to be. One of the biggest, put your seatbelts on. One of the biggest program beliefs is thinking that, or believing that, let me keep it on me, I am my thoughts. These are Rebecca's thoughts. And when I'm using the word I and my, I use that word knowing that I'm focusing on and knowing that I'm pointing at Rebecca. There's two separate entities. There's the human, and then there's a level that's beyond. And the practice is to practice living at that level that is beyond. Talk about limiting. Being Rebecca is very limiting. Okay, so back to the thoughts. One of my friends texted me, and she was talking about because Moji was talking about the emptiness and how the mind is naturally is empty. Is there its natural state is empty, and she was saying that she didn't really understand it. And so this is my response back about the thoughts. And I said, she was saying, I don't understand this. And this is my perspective. I said, think about a new baby that's born, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. The baby, the brand new baby, the newborn has zero thoughts. Zero. Now someone is going to say, how do you know that? I don't know. Zero thoughts. And when do thoughts begin? This is what I'm saying. When do thoughts begin? I believe that all thoughts are just collective programs, and thoughts are not personal to the individual. I am not my thoughts. There's a few people out there that only think positive and think it, change a thought, switch this thought to that thought. That's just too much work. These thoughts come and go. And my practice is I am the sky. You, my dear audience, are the sky. You are the sky. And thoughts are just clouds drifting by. Oh, that rhymes. I am the sky. You are the sky, and thoughts are just clouds drifting by. They're not true if you do any or know of Byron Katie's work. Check it out if you haven't. She has a lot of intense information and training on this thoughts and identifying with thoughts. So I'm not my thoughts. Do I have an empty mind? Stop laughing. No, I've got thoughts and stories constantly. But I know that quote unquote, my air quotes, my thoughts aren't real. Let me see what else I wrote. And I said, thoughts are programs. And I said, unless you're in the inspired creative mode, those modes where you're painting, you're writing, you're speaking, you're playing a sport, you are performing, you're inventing, you're coming up with a solution to a problem. Unless you're in one of those activities, and I missed a lot, cooking, active activities where you're actively doing something, those thoughts are just waste. And I mean waste, like real waste. They just come and they go, and they come and they go, and they're all over the place. I could come up, Rebecca's thoughts, again, air quotes, Rebecca's thoughts can come up with stories that just talk about creative out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. And so I don't give them any focus, and I definitely don't give them any energy. And I practice how I practice. I pretend that, and I've said this, given this example before, I pretend that I put the thoughts on stage. I've gone to the theater, darling, and the thoughts are on stage. And is coming up with all this drama and all of, all the thoughts, all of, all the stuff inside your head, all on stage. And I'm in the audience witnessing all of this commotion, all of this nonstop, incessant, it's never ending. But I'm witnessing it. I'm not part of the activity that's on stage. And then there's another level of practice where there is presence, awareness that witnesses even the witness. So you're either identifying with the thoughts, the person, the human, or you are witnessing what the human is going through in any moment. And this has been scientifically proven. Atoms, cells, they change behavior. It's called the double slit experiment. You can Google that, double slit, SLIT experiment, that behaviors change when they're being watched. And that goes for the ego too. Behaviors change their behavior when they're being watched. Google that double slit experiment. and get back to me. It's different when I have conversations with my ego and say, "Oh, you want me to believe that?" You got to have fun with it. "Oh, you want me to believe that?" "Oh, that's a good one." Yeah, I hear what you're saying, ego, but I know that nothing that comes out of your mouth is the truth. And be light. Okay, let's see. Post visit. Yeah. Oh, by the way, 2025. What do I have? I usually don't make any plans unless I'm going on a trip. So, listen to this. In 2025, I'm going to be at Podfest in Orlando. I usually go to help out the OWL booth, OWWLL. And if you don't know about OWL, OWWLL, it's a free app to download and talk about networking with anybody all over the country. And so I'm one of the I'm one of the originals that was there during the beta testing, and I usually go to help out at the booth. So yeah, the OWL booth. Anyway, and if you do want to download it, you can download it for free. You can use my code RLN, and you receive $10 to make calls. It's a great app. Anyway, I digress. But this is what I wanted to say. So I was not asked, but the group was asked about doing stand up. I'm 69 years old, and I think I'm funny. I mean, but I've never done stand up. And so I'm going to do 3 minutes of stand up that I have to put together. I guess I have to write write a routine, or just get up there and just stare into space and go blank. But yeah, 3 minutes of stand up. Look at that. And the other thing in 2025, I am going to be going with, if you don't know, Billy Carson, and he's leading a tour at Machu Picchu. And so that's all I have planned for 2025. No, I'm not here making goals. No, I don't have goals, 3-month goals, 6-month goals. Why? Because what if Rebecca's goals don't coincide with the universe's goals? So I just sit back, hands up, and say, lead me where you want me to go. And there's always something to do. There's always something to I mean, being led. I mean, just leaning back and being led. That's how I practice living. So no, I don't have any goals. I have some ideas. I want to finish the third book, which is a book of questions, and then the fourth book. I've been asked to write a book of, not asked, but inspired to write a book about programmed relationships. Oh, program relationships, because 98% of the population are in programmed relationships. And that's one of the reasons why, the main reason why they don't work that well. Scratch that. There's a lot of drama. In fact, I was in the store the other day, and this one young lady, she was talking to her friend or coworker, and she says, "Well, my boyfriend's mad at me. We had a big fight." I mean, this is just common. And so I am going to write a book about program relationships, but who knows when that's going to go. Maybe next year it'll be out. Okay. Also, I want to share is every Saturday, even last Saturday, we had technical difficulties. Every Saturday morning at 9:15 Pacific time, my son and I do a show. It's called "What Happens When a Mother and Son Make Sense Out of Nonsense Plus More." And it is a show about our relationship and our spiritual growth. And we just spent 3 days together face to face, and boy, oh boy. So we share a lot of behind the scenes and how to have a compatible energy relationship with someone, especially when you're really close. And so that's that. But for New Year's, I want to Oh, and if anybody wants to join the stage, please, and share what happened in 2024 and how you're different and what do you have planned for 2025. One of the things that I do share on the show every time is, let's see, the 5 most common regrets of the dying. So this is a study done by a hospice nurse, and she asked her patients who had days to live, weeks to live, months to live, what are your 5 biggest regrets? And these 5 regrets kept coming up over and over and over again. And they are, I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I didn't work so hard. Well, I don't have that problem. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. Number 4, I wish I would have stayed in touch with my friends. And number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. Let me say something about this ego or the mind. One of the ways you can tell that it is your ego is that the ego will never, hardly ever offer you a different perspective. There is just one way to view a circumstance, situation. There is only one way, and that's when I know that my ego has stepped in front or tries to puff out its chest and say, "I got this." No, when I can only come up with one way to look at a problem, and that practice is invaluable. And I don't know about you, but I was never taught to look for other perspectives, find the good, even if you hear what the saying is, make lemonade out of lemons, that kind of thing. Instantly, I mean instantly. And if I can't find another perspective quickly, then I just lean back and just hands behind the head and just trust. But back to, oh, I want to read. This is a fun one. This is a cartoon that I found. It says, to anybody I offended this year, work on yourself so I don't got to do it again in 2025. To anybody offended this year, work on yourself so I don't have to offend you again in 2025. And that's a big, one of the things about this book, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth, found on Amazon, is that it is a button pushing, trigger, inevitable. You're going to, well, it's very triggering, and it's triggering because I contend that it's impossible to offend somebody unless they're programmed. It's impossible to hurt someone else's feeling unless you're programmed. And when I say programmed, that means that the person can't do anything other than what their program allows. The birds fly south for the winter. They can't not fly south. They cannot not build nests in the spring. The animals that mate at certain times of the year, they cannot not do that. And it's the same for a programmed person. When you're programmed, and especially when you don't even realize it, try to make a different decision. I know I have. But it's recognizing your programs and eliminating them one by one. Only if you're going to prioritize and you feel and you find any value of vibrating contentment. Some people don't want that. I like the ups and downs. I like the drama. I want the roller coaster. Give that to me. And that's another thing I had to learn and accept, that everybody ain't interested. No, not everybody's not interested. I mean, come on. Anyway, so let me just share with you some of the program behaviors, and these are level 1, level 2, and level 3 program behaviors that subtract from your happiness. So the first part of the practice, when I say happiness is a practice skill, the first part of the practice is to gradually eliminate the behaviors that have been proven to subtract. And here we go. Level 1. That means the civilians on the street are going to get this one. Blaming anyone or any circumstances for how you feel. And I just experienced that on Sunday or Saturday, Sunday with this stomach cramping. No, I'm not blaming the stomach. And when I say how you're going to feel, I actually can amend that and say how you vibrate. Oh, that's even better. Blaming anyone or circumstance for how you're vibrating. I got to amend that book. Here we go. Comparing yourself to others. You see how you just flow into learning not learning, but having a different perspective, expanding the perspective. Yeah, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to cross this out. How you feel, how you vibrate, energetically vibrate. Blaming anyone or any circumstance for how you energetically vibrate. Oh, genius. Comparing yourself to others. Trying to control anyone or anything, excuse me, anyone or anything outside of self. Complaining. Complaining, especially complaining about something you have zero control over. You know what's interesting? I'm out and about a lot and around different groups of people, and it's just a lot of complaining, and not only that, but it's a lot of talking about yesterday. But that's my practice, is acceptance. Talking negatively about what someone else is doing. Thinking money can buy inner peace, contentment, or happiness. Now, that what sells? Sex sells. I believe sex sells, but money, putting this carrot in front of people and get more money, find more money, more abundance, more money. Honey, I don't care how much money you're going to have. It's separate from what this topic is. And you know it, and I know it, that this accomplishing or adding zeros to the numbers on the bank account. Okay, I get it. But it has nothing to do with feeding a soul. Taking anything personally. Oh, this is a tough one. I know that when I feel a disrupt in the force, I'm either taking something personally, or I'm thinking something is serious and or important. And I'm going to have to throw in a need to be right too, because I'm right about this is serious. This is important. And taking something personally, it is not, this is an impersonal universe. This is an impersonal world. Needing to be right, being impatient, rushing, worrying, fear. I've talked about worrying ad nauseum. It's just, it's when I ask people, do they worry? 98% of the population, yeah, I worry. It's normal. It's normal to worry. Of course. Especially if I have children. I hear that one. I have children. That's natural. It's normal to worry. No, it's a program. Worrying just indicates lack of trust. You can't trust and worry at the same time. Practice trust. Practice trusting, and there will be no worry. And then again, I get to the addictions, which are there are people that are addicted to worrying. There are people that are addicted to needing to be right. There are people that are addicted to taking things personally, blaming, being negative. Nothing wrong with them. Hold on, I'm putting my hands up. Both hands up. No judgment here. There's a difference between judging and describing. All I'm doing is describing. No judgment. Because one of the things that I know is that everybody is on their own unique journey. And I do not know what's best for somebody else. I can't even comprehend, but I used to, can't even comprehend what's best for someone else. Oh, that's another one. Oh, I really fell into that long time ago. I knew what was wrong with everybody else, and I knew what they needed to do to solve their problems. But not anymore. I'm not in anybody's business. That's their business and God's business. And there you go. I'm here just practicing being a human example of the universe on steroids. Anyway, if anybody wants to join on Noom Vibe and let me know what's going on with you in 2024, what you've learned, or 2025, what your intentions are, or what are you going to practice, speak now or forever hold your peace. Beep, 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 beep. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm going to, this is another intention I have for 2025, to be aware of and to be conscious of how many things, I'm going to say but it's really the ego, how many things Rebecca thinks are important. When this is a real tough one. I know that it feels like it. I know that we've all been programmed to believe it. But this life is just an experience to be experienced. It's not, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. Meaningful. This experience isn't meaningful. I mean, when I say it isn't meaningful, I'm talking about in the bigger schemes. It's God reincarnating through us, living through us, and having an experience. But the meaning is just the experience. I know. So my practice is to experience all of this, everything, like as if it was meaningless. And I get it. Come on. I know the arguments. I hear it all the time. I've been called every name in the book, including what is it? Disingenuous. I mean, every toxic, selfish, delusional. I come on. In fact, no, there's not one word you can say or judgment you can make that's going to, thank goodness, because of the practice, going to affect. It's not going to change my energy. It's only with practice, though. Trust me, I wasn't always like this. So if everything is, and when I say meaningless, I go back and forth from being human to going to that awareness state. And I can understand an argument that if my presence has touched someone's soul and they feel like they have a different perspective and they're grateful and they express that, well, Rebecca, thank you. And I get a lot of that. And I understand that the human says that, well, that was meaningful. But I'm communicating on another level other than this human. And that's what I wanted to clarify. I'm not so flip that, well, I am flip, but not that flip or callous, so heartless. I'm not that heartless that I can't understand the human state. But I'm telling you right now, the alley and the sunset are the same. And I practice that the only thing that has meaning is presence. Presence, and presence even isn't even describable. Is presence and awareness. That's it. Heaven is a total state of mind. And presence does nothing, because presence understands all of this. All of this. Huh. Means nothing. Okay. You see why I don't have any friends? Anyway, someone's waiting. Yay. Michael, I'm so glad I looked down at the phone.
Hello, Rebecca. This is Michael from the Bluegrass State of Kentucky. How are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you for joining.
My pleasure. Yes. I'm really digging what you're saying about nothing but life. Everything is connected, and we are one.
Yes.
And we were, I'm just going to say, created, for a common purpose. And we are not ourselves. We were not created to be ourselves. We were created for others, and not only other people, but other things, whether that be animals, whether that be nature, whether that be universe. Everything's connected.
Yes, I agree.
And I guess looking forward, intentions for next year is maybe getting a better awareness of, I guess, the big picture. I mean, we live day to day, not really noticing what's going on. Half the time we don't even know what's going on, but mindfulness and knowing maybe not what our plans are, because there's things that we just don't know and we'll never know. I mean, I'm glad I never know when I'm going to die. I mean, that's something that is hidden from me, but knowing, I guess, how we fit into the puzzle, the great puzzle. You know what I'm saying?
I do, but so let me go back, because I do believe there's some kind of, so you don't want to know when you're going to die, and because isn't there some kind of teachings that, because I remember Deepak Chopra talking about it. He does know when he's going to die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't, you're going to have to do more research, but this thing about death, there's nothing to fear. In fact, I believe, or I practice, that this what I'm living right now and experience, this human experience, is just a dream. And one day I'll wake up, and having that amnesia and not knowing that I am presence, I am awareness. This is a dream right here. But yeah, anyway, what do you think about that?
Well, to a certain extent, I agree with you, because this isn't it, that there is more. And I want to say this is just even maybe if you, with a drink of water, we're just a sip of what we can totally experience hereafter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Have you watched any of those near-death experience videos?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
I believe they're totally real.
Yes.
I mean, there is, this world we're living, this earth, this universe, it is our home for now. And you're saying heaven is a state of mind. I can kind of see where you're going at, because in the big picture, this is, it's kind of like we're here on a trial basis. and until the big awakening happens. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know about a big awakening, but I know that we're here for, we reincarnated here, and we're conscious energy, and so we're here in human form.
Right.
So I have a question for you. And if we run out of time, I would love for you to join back if you have the time. What are some of your challenges?
I try to keep a very positive mindset all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, if something kind of gets in my way, it's just like, growing up, it was always why me, why me, why me. And I've kind of got past that, saying everything happens to us for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, the bad things. So I guess the challenge for me is just to really totally accept, okay, this is a bad day. That really wasn't a bad day.
Mm.
How can I turn that into a positive in my life experience? How does that fit in the puzzle? So having that awareness, that consciousness, and look for it. You can almost predict what's going to happen next.
Oh, really?
Looking for those. Well, I think it's a trend. I think life is like a trend. You see something happening, and it's a good day. Things are happening. Things are going in place. I should do like from point A to B. It doesn't always go A to B. Sometimes you go A to F and then get back to B and C, etc.
Come back, because I want to hit you with something.
Okay, talk to me.
Okay, yeah, come back. I love it. I love when people come and share and just and one of the and how I learn. Oops.
Okay.
Oh, somebody's trying to call me, and thank goodness. No, I'm good.
Somebody's trying to call.
No,
okay.
No. Thank goodness that I realize now that when I look down and see that somebody's a call, I have to not unmute myself, but anyway, I have to come back. But I'm live. Okay, so this is what I want to say. You said. Okay. Because one of the things, and not to, I'm not one to market, but when I say I in my book, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth, in that book, I list 56 program behaviors. And one of the program behaviors is to label anything good, label anything bad. So in my real life, I don't use labels, and that includes labeling emotions. I mean, what's the difference between the energy of, I got to stop yelling at you. I'm just so passionate. I'm so passionate. I'm just, let me calm down. Let me calm down. So what's the difference in energy between the vibration of someone who labels that lonely, sad, see, the labels are also programmed. So when you say good day, bad day, I just say it is a day. It is a day. No, scratch that. It is an experience without judgment, because labels are judgments, and all judgments subtract. So you don't have there's no such thing as a bad day. It's just the day that you're experiencing.
Well, I will go. You're talking about, emotion. Sometimes you need a sorrowful emotion, and that's the right place to be.
Yes, but see, I would just say an emotion without adding the sorrow behind it. See, in other words, this sorrow, and I get it because I'm human and I feel all types of emotions. And it's programmed, label, well, what are you feeling? Anger, irritation, loneliness, sad, sorrow. But I'm telling you, who is labeling these emotions? It's the human side. So living, I tell people, not everybody, because I hope nobody's listening, that I practice not being so human.
Okay. I can see that, because we're more than that.
Yes.
We're here as humans, but we're more than that. And I think once we have that awareness of where we fit in the big picture, as I mentioned, the first thing I said is everything's connected.
Yes.
And we are one. We're all one. You and I are all in the same fabric.
Oh, I just got chills when you said that. It just got chills.
It is but it's the truth, and we have to acknowledge that and proclaim it, and that's going to help us in our journey.
Well, let me say this too about the emotions. I feel all kinds of emotions, and that is because I'm human, and this is the state, this is the dimension, this is where I am, and so. But why I'm feeling it, and again, I don't know if you heard earlier, but it's a teacher. His name is Guy Finley. He's in Oregon, and he says the feel is real, but the why is a lie.
Oh, that's true. Absolutely, the why is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that. Yeah, because why is a lie? Kind of go a little more on that.
Okay. Oh, this is good. This is good. This is good. So see, before this who I used to be. Well, I'm mad or I'm angry because. So I'm very aware of when I use the word because who is the author of the words or the conclusion of what happens after what happens after? Because I'm angry because she didn't call me. I'm offended because they put up this sign, or and it's because so the feel of whatever I'm feeling, anxious, depressed, sad, angry, whatever it is. And I'm just saying all these emotions and I'm labeling them only just because to share. But that's not why I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling this way because it's time. The volcano erupts when it's time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We just have to deprogram that.
Yes. Yes. And it's not it's come back if you can oh good. Okay, so I would say eliminate the program, definitely. So there's always a story attached. Scratch that. Program people always attach a story as to why they're feeling a certain way. And I'm here to share that you're just feeling this way because you're human and it's time to feel this way, period. But who is saying that I'm feeling this way because? Does that make sense?
Oh, sure. And what you just said, because it's time.
Yes.
Because there is a time and a place for everything.
Tell me I'm a genius.
You are amazing. I will say that. And this is going a lot of places. And even more reason to look forward to 2025. Because if we can become more aware of who we really are, and as I said, deprogram what we were, life will be much better, I believe.
Well, let's see there, Sylvia. I'm going to hit you again. Life will be much better. Life will be much better. No, the present moment, living in the present moment, life will be much better. Life is perfect the way it is. Much better is another.
Well, our awareness of life. Once again, it's that, you're right. Life is not going to change the way it is. But if we're more aware of what life is, we can appreciate what life is, and that would make it better.
Okay, and let me throw this at you. This put your seatbelt on, my new dear best friend. Put your seatbelt on. And one of the things that I practice not saying is we, because I don't know anybody else other than me. So that's what I speak for me. But this we, and this is a hard one that I had to accept, that everybody is just not their time. What I say is we're all avocados. All of us, we're all avocados, but some of us are ripe and it's time. So everybody is just not time. It's not time for them to get this message. And trust me, I was one. Come on, everybody, let's be aware. But if it's not time for them, it's just not time. So my responsibility is to be that example of a human example of the universe, and If people have questions, if people notice it, that's good. But it's not to look out and say something. These people need to be more aware, because that's a judgment on me. No, they're fine exactly the way they are. Period. That's a hard
Yes.
one.
Well, we are unique. And as you said, I am, let's just say
There you go.
You don't know anybody else except yourself. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a couple years ago when I learned this positive mindset. I really discovered my path and what really it means, and a lot of things what you're saying, is something that, through discovery, and we can't, turn people into who they're not, because as you said, it's not their time. But being an example and seeing, hey, there's Michael. I can see how he is. Maybe I want some of that.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Your book, teaching people how you can be, they can be who they could be, their potential. As you said, intentions. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, look at that.
I mean, I know I don't totally got it. I don't have all the angles, and that's just me. Because I'm learning every day. Every day. There's not a day that I'm not learning who I am and what I can be. But I'm getting there, I believe.
Let me say this. I ain't where I am or any of that. I am. You think the practice is over? I haven't mastered shit. I mean, I'm just saying. And when I say master it, I'm a student number one.
Yes.
The only difference is I've been a student for 45 plus years. I'm 69 years old. Don't tell anybody. 69 years old. And yeah, I've just been a student. This is my only topic. And so I really appreciate you. It's such a pleasure to get to know you. Let's stay in touch. Pleasure.
We'll be in touch. Thank
yes.
You. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year. And Happy New Year, everyone. I just that he just gave me chills, and I love the openness and the honest and all of it. And guess what? I have a 90-minute massage scheduled, and I'm already running late because I was supposed to end this at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So I'm going to end the show. But again, I'm live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and then also on Saturday at 9:15. My son and I do a show. It's called What Happens When a Mother and Son Make Sense Out of Nonsense, plus more. And this Saturday is going to be hot because last week we had technical difficulties, and boy, oh boy, do we have things to I mean, we were triggered, buttons were pushed, and fingers were being pointed, and it's all going, and all the lessons that we learned. But I really appreciate all of you. And that's the end of today's show. Happy New Year. Practice living in the present moment. Practice letting go of this. This is serious. This is important. And you know what I do? I'm because I'm so lazy. I just ask the universe. This is how I pray. Hands up, universe. How can I practice trust more? How can I surrender to every moment? How do I practice living in the present moment? How do I let go of resistance? How do I all of those how do I questions? That's it. That's all I pray for. Anyway, you've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, happiness specialist Rebecca L. Norrington. And let me quickly cue up my theme song. DERUST201. This is my password. Surrender trust. Surrender trust is my password on my MacBook. Don't tell anybody. Here we go. Let's see. And let's play it. It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one. You got a question for RLA?
It's time to get some answers, baby. Time to get down. You gonna feel good now.
And this and that.